In this video, we're going to be going over an open orders dashboard that was built using data from Odoo ERP. Now, the goal of this report is to give us an insight into exactly what's sitting in our warehouse at a given time in terms of orders, who ordered, what products did they order, and how long it's actually been sitting in the warehouse for. So what I'll do is I'll quickly run through the dashboard itself, show you all the different Power BI functionality, and then I'll run through the data model and how you'd go about building a report like this yourself. So up the top left, we have three cards. So the first card is showing us the total number of open orders. So this is just a count of the sales orders that we have in the warehouse. The next card is showing us the total open order value in dollars. And then the final card is showing us how many orders we've processed for the month so far. Then below it, we have a breakdown of the total number of orders each month over a 12 or a 13 month period. This just shows us, are we processing more orders each month on a longer time frame? And in this example, we are trending upwards, which is a good thing. Next up, we have a table which essentially just breaks down the total open order value based on the number of hours that each order has spent in the warehouse. So if I just take customer one and use that as an example, we can see that they have about 8,500 in open orders that have been sitting in the warehouse for greater than 48 hours. Next up, we have the same visual, but this is breaking it down by product category. The goal of this is that we want to be able to see which products are causing a backlog. So in this example, you can see that product category 12, we've got about 30K worth that's been in the warehouse for longer than 48 hours. Finally, the bottom right table just has all of our sales order detail. So this is going to show us which customer is assigned to that sales order. There's the reference number. What date did they order? What date did we actually send it to the warehouse to be fulfilled? And then there's the total open order value. Now I'll just show you a couple of ways that you could go about using this report. First way is by selecting a specific customer. So say if I go down to customer 2 and I click on that table, it's now going to filter every visual in the whole report to only show orders related to customer 2. So you can see that they have 11 open orders. They have about 34K worth of orders sitting in the warehouse. Here's how many orders we've processed each month. Here are all of the products that they've bought. And here are the actual sales orders that we have open for that customer. Now, alternatively, you can search for a product category. So say if I clicked on product category 5, you can then see all of the customers that have bought those products. Here are all of the sales orders, and here are all of the orders that have been processed that have contained those products. Now, one thing we could add is we could add the individual products. So we could still group them by product category, but we could have a drop down here where if you click, say, product category 5, it will show you the individual products that are contained within that category. We could then click on an individual product, and then we could see a total overview of how much of that product we have in open orders, how many orders that are containing that product do we have, which customers are buying that product, so on and so forth. Now, that pretty much wraps up the report. It's just a good overview to be able to go in, see exactly what we have sitting in the warehouse at a given time. It's also useful for revenue forecasting because if we can go in here, we say we've got about 84K that's been sitting there for greater than 48 hours. We can assume that that's going to be turned into revenue. It's going to be invoiced. So we can forecast accordingly. Next up, I'll run through the data model. I'll show you what goes into actually building a dashboard like this in Power BI. Okay, now this is exactly what a data model for a report like this is going to look like. Now, this is going to get a little bit technical into Odoo's database schema, but I'll try to simplify it as much as I can. Now, because we're dealing with open sales orders, we're going to be dealing with two tables. So one of the tables is going to be sale.order. The other table is going to be sale.order.line. So sale.order, essentially that holds all of the header information for each sales order. It's going to show us the sales order reference, the customer that's assigned to the sales order, and the order date. So all that type of information. Then the sale.order.line table is going to show us more detailed information about the product. Which product is our customer buying? How much are they buying it for? So what's the sales price? And then what's the quantity that they're buying? Usually we join these tables together in SQL, but for the sake of this example, I've just included them both individually so you can get an idea of how they link together. Because we're dealing with open orders, We only want orders that are sitting in the warehouse. The way that we differentiate between an open order and one that's fully fulfilled is by using the data from stock.move and stock.picking. When an order is actually sent to the warehouse, it creates both a stock movement and a picking ID. The stock movement contains all of our product detail. What products do we need to pick and how much of it? Then in stock picking, it's going to have the date and time that the order was actually sent to the warehouse. It's going to have a picking reference, and it's also going to have the most important field, which is the status. The status is going to show us, is the order still open or has it already been fulfilled? So if we were to go into stock.picking, there would be a column called state, and it would either have a status of draft, ready, assigned, or done. Because we're only dealing with open orders, we only want statuses which are draft, ready, or assigned, because that means it's still open and there's still something that we need to do with that order in order to get it out to our customers. Now, the last two tables are the res.partner and product.product tables. These are both our lookup tables. Res.partner, that's going to hold everything about our customers. It's going to tell us our customer name, what industry they're assigned to, all that sort of information. And then product.product is going to give us everything about our product. So our product description, our product category, all of that sort of stuff. Next up, I'll quickly just run through how all of the tables link together. First up, in sale.order, we're going to have a column called partner ID. We're then going to link that to res.partner using the ID column from res partner and the partner ID from sale.order. Now we know which customer we have assigned to each sales order. Next up, we're going to link our sale order to our sales order line. The way we do that is in sale.order, you'll have an ID column. And then in sale.order.line, you'll have an order ID column. And that's how you link them. Then in sale.order.line, as I mentioned, that's going to have all of our product information. It's going to have a product ID for each row. We're then going to link that to the ID column from product.product. Then in sale.order, once we've sent that order out to the warehouse to be picked, as I said, it's going to create a picking ID. Now that picking ID is going to have an origin column, as you can see here. Now that origin column is going to have the sales order reference. So that might look like, say for example, SO456. Now in the sale.order table, it's going to have a name column, which is going to also be that SO456. So we're going to link the name column to the origin column from stock.picking. Finally, we're going to have the stock movement. The stock movement is going to be linked to the picking ID. As you'll see in stock move, there's a picking ID. And then in stock.picking, it's the ID column. And then we link those two together. Hope that wasn't too confusing, but that's how all of the tables link together. The best way to look at this is that we've got a sales order. We've got all of the products that are contained within that sales order. We know the product name. We know the customer name. Now, we've gone and we've sent that sales order to the warehouse. That's created a picking ID. Now, once we've created that picking ID, we've told it, okay, we need to pick all of these products and all of these quantities for those products. So that's going to create that stock movement. Then once we've picked, say, one line, that's going to change the state of one of the stock move lines to done. Then once all of the lines have been picked, that stock picking will now change from status assigned to done, and it will no longer be an open order. Now, I'm aware this has probably been a little bit of information overload, so if you do have any questions or there's anything you want me to clarify, just leave it in the comments section below and I will get back to you. Alternatively, if you are a business owner and you can't be bothered setting this up yourself, I run a company that does just that. So all you have to do is go into the description below, go over to my website, send in your request. We have a quick meeting to discuss how we're actually going to get set up with your data. Once we're set up, we can go in, we build the dashboard, share it with your team, and the rest is history. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz. These videos do take a while to make, so I would appreciate that. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.